Hello, health professionals. Doug Grant here, and today we're excited because we're going to be talking to one of the best holistic professionals in the nation, someone that's been there, done that, and actually knows the tools that are needed to be used to have a successful clinic. Check it out. Hi, everyone. Doug here. Glad to be back from a big seminar we had this weekend. It was amazing. We'll talk a little bit more about that. But I'm honored to have with me Dr. Michael Johnson with us. Dr. Johnson, welcome.
Hey, Doug. Great to be here. Thank you.
And we are just excited from this weekend. We had some talks while we were there and wanted to be able to put this podcast on because there were some principles that was obvious with the 150 doctors that were there from all over the nation that there's some principles that if they followed, they could really take things to the next level. And I appreciate you. I mean, you're probably worn out. You flew back from Phoenix to where are you at now?
Well, I'm in Appleton. I flew back from Phoenix Monday. I got back late Monday night. The next morning, we have a home up in Bayfield, Wisconsin. It's on Lake Superior. And we're building a garage and living space above, and the city changed it. So I had to drive 5 hours up there, change all the plans around, drive back. So here I am back at the office.
Well, that's amazing. Well, thanks for taking the time to be with us. But we left there so excited and energized to be able to get more information to the doctors. You know, for 150 doctors to decide during the middle of this COVID pandemic
Right.
to leave and come.
It was fantastic. It really was. It's great to go to seminars because, as many doctors know, and you know, Doug, it's not just what you get at the seminar, which was fantastic. It's commiserating, it's speaking with other doctors, getting other ideas, going out to dinner with doctors, you know, sharing how to help patients. That's really what it comes down to. Yeah.
All right. Well, I think that, you know, hearing you and Dr. Brimhall, Dr. Harris, Dr. Porter, all the great people that were there, whether they're on stage or not, just being there, it is the energy. Just you can't put a price on the energy. It's one thing to have great content, like you said, and there was great content, but just the energy itself is worth it. So we appreciate it, and let's jump into it. I know people are very interested, doctors around the nation, of what principles do I really need to dig back in my core to really take things to the next level, different from just setting goals and these types of things like that. And boy, I was just so impressed with your YouTube video on that. So tell us, what do doctors need to do to really be successful compared to the ones that you saw are struggling?
Sure. And I'll just give you a really brief history. So whenever I hear someone speak, I want to know, where's the person coming from? Who are they to tell me anything, right? Like
Right.
Dr. Mark Harris, MD, 3 PhDs by the time he's 12. I'm going to listen to that guy all day, every day, 24/7. And you couldn't ask for a nicer person because he's answering questions when he's not speaking at the homecoming. It was wonderful. So I started in practice in 1983. I'm a chiropractor. I've been a chiropractor since then. Still hold a chiropractic license. I got into a multidisciplinary clinic from 1996 to 2004. We'll discuss that a little bit here, what happened. And then got back into what's called chiropractic neurology, functional neurology. In 2006, I had 5 doctors come to me and say, hey, how are you doing it with this chiropractic neurology? Nobody's making it. You are. Show us how. So we started with consulting. We have a message board, 300 doctors on the message board sharing ideas. Anybody watching this, it's a free message board now. There is no charge for it. You're welcome to contact me. I'll give you my contact information. If you are, great. If not, that's fine. And then I just kept evolving. I think you always have to reinvent yourself being in practice. So I would do things that helped me. So chiropractic neurology helped me. We got into stem cell therapy. I have MS. That helped me. I couldn't stand or walk for longer than 10 or 15 minutes. Stem cells helped me. And, Mark Harris has a seminar on stem cells and injections. progenitor cells, let's call them that now.
Yeah.
And then he has the methylation seminars. I've been to his methylation seminar 5 times. Part 1, we were just in Orlando in November. Part 2, everyone out there needs to get to that seminar. You know that, Doug. I know that. I can't say it enough. I'm taking my entire staff, along with a couple of my kids who are interested in healthcare, to that next Part 1 and Part 2. And I know you'll have the dates coming up. With COVID, it makes it tough. We all get that. It's not, these aren't normal times. Let's just say that. So then I had peripheral neuropathy, so I started working with units with peripheral neuropathy. Now we're adding a vein clinic. So I'm in this little cracker box of an office, and I had to give up my big, beautiful office that I was going to put a bubble hockey machine, which I have here to my left, and 3 pinball machines. I wanted like a game room office. And I'll tell you why here in a minute. But so that's where I've been. That's what we do. And so I made this video and I sent it to Doug. I'm like, hey, can I post this on the OHS Facebook page? Doug's like, why don't we just get on a webinar and let's talk about it and go a little bit deeper, a little deeper dive with it. And I'm like, great, I'm in. So here we are.
Here we are. Yep.
Yes.
Well, let's go. And I appreciate you bringing that background up, because people, like you said, need to know who it is that they're listening to and that they've done it and been there. And you've definitely done that. So let us have it.
Right. So this is what I found in working with doctors and even in my own self. And I'll give you some examples. But I called it self-sabotage, the #1 killer of massive success. And so the #1 thing, there's 4 patterns. The first pattern really is failure to prioritize. So what do I mean by that? Well, when I get up in the morning, I get up about 4:35 a.m. I'll look at my phone. I'll have texts. I'll have emails. I start answering things. I get to the office about 7. But the night before, I've written in the notes section of my phone what I needed to do the next day. The key is, what's the most important? What needs to be done first, second, third, fourth, fifth? I have a list of about 20 things. I know I'm going to get through those first 5 in the morning. I know I'm going to get through those next 5 in the afternoon. I better handle the rest when I can get to it. But doctors will fail to prioritize. And I'm not saying, as you've heard in some cases, do the most difficult thing you need to do first. No, do the most important thing first. Yeah, right. Is it a phone call? Do you have to email? Is it a contact? Prioritize. Now, that's easy to say. It's not as easy to do. So pattern #2 is a lot of doctors get distracted. So they'll be working on a project and then it's like squirrel, they get distracted. And so that's why I have to come to my clinic. I can't work from home personally. That's just me. I get easily distracted at home doing other things, something else. I can come in this, what's a closet compared to my old office now, shut the door. When the door is shut, people know that I'm not going to answer it if they knock. I'm working. I'm going to get work done. And you have to get it done. And so you have to find your spot where you can't be distracted. Now, there's a technique. It's called the Pomodoro technique. For those of you who have difficulty with this, Pomodoro means tomato in Italian. So there was a doctor, he was working on his thesis, and he wasn't able to put any time into it. He's always get distracted. So his mom had this kitchen timer. It was a tomato. And he would set it for 20 minutes, and he would just focus for that 20 minutes on what he needed to do. And he did that every day. And then it was 25, and he increased it by 5 minutes a day. Finally, he's working on his thesis, gets it done, 90 minutes, 120 minutes a day, 2 hours a day. So I recommend that doctors, if you're having trouble staying focused and getting things done, to use that Pomodoro technique. Now, a lot of doctors will ask me in our group, how do you get all this done? How do you get so much done in a day? These are the keys I'm giving you. This is what I've learned in 38 years. It'll be 38 years in practice, March 21st. And that's what I wanted to share with you. So that's the key. #1, failure to prioritize. #2, don't get distracted. #3, the third pattern. and I see this a lot with doctors, victimization. I'd be successful, but someone did a bad thing to me. Somebody sued me. A patient sued me. It was a malpractice. Someone called me a bad name. I mean, look, I've been called every name in the book. All right. Quack, charlatan, snake oil salesman. I don't really care. You can't let that crap bother you. I've been sued. I've sued. The only thing that comes out of suing anybody or lawsuits is attorneys make a lot of money. So you just got to put that stuff behind you. And you can't use it as an excuse for your failure instead of your success. So, there's an old Chinese saying, fall down 7 times, get up 8. I've fallen down. I mean, in 2006, I declared bankruptcy. What happened was we were an integrated clinic, MD-DCPT, and I had embezzlement issues. Someone embezzled $1 million from me, $1 million. From 2000 to 2004, I tried to push off bankruptcy for 2 years. And what happened was on February 14th, 2006, we declared bankruptcy. It was hard. I didn't want to do that. I thought that was a failure. And then 2 months later, that's when these 5 doctors come to me and say, help us. And the first thing out of my mouth was, I just declared bankruptcy, right? And they're like, yeah, but it wasn't you. It was the other guy. So what that allowed me to do, though, was help other doctors through bankruptcy. Here's what you pay. Here's what you don't pay. You're not going to lose everything. Here's how to get your credit back. So it was actually a blessing in disguise. So doctors really need to stop playing the victim. That's not going to serve you. The past doesn't equal the future. I mean, if I lost everything tomorrow, I'd have it back within a year. As a matter of fact, my bankruptcy attorney, he told me, he goes, I've never seen anybody come back so fast. And I'm like, that's because I didn't do anything wrong. It wasn't me. I didn't do the embezzling. And, I do a lot of YouTube videos. I'll give you another brief example. I had a YouTube channel. I mentioned this at the super seminar. I had 5.5 million views on my thyroid video. I had 3.2 million views on my cancer video. I had 1.8 million views on my cholesterol video. The mistake I made was I didn't ask people to subscribe. And you're nice enough, you said maybe I'll talk about it at the super seminar, to give a little plug for the super seminar. But so I still had like 50,000 views or subscribers. And a lot of our stem cell patients came from all over the world off of our YouTube channel. Well, on July 21st, 2019, YouTube shut down my channel. And when YouTube shuts down a channel, they don't tell you why. They just do it. You're done. It's over. Goodbye. And about a month later, YouTube makes the announcement on October 1st, 2019, we're not going to allow any more stem cell advertising. Well, my channel was full of stem cell information. So obviously that's the reason they shut it down. So I could have played the victim and said, oh my God, my practice is over. Here we just had our most successful year ever. We're doing stem cell. It's gone. But all I did was just pivot. You have to reinvent yourself. And so we started with peripheral neuropathy. We started using this electrical therapy unit called Synexus. I became a distributor. It's worked out fabulous. We now have another clinic in Boston. Our goal is 15 clinics. We're going to put a clinic in Indianapolis. We're going to Louisville. I could have just crawled in a corner and cried myself to sleep every night because YouTube shut down my source of patients. Instead, you have to keep thinking, what's next? What's next? What's next for us? We're going to put a vein clinic in our office. So everything I'm sharing with you, so this was my beautiful, big, huge office where I was going to put my 3 pinball machines and my beautiful bubble hockey machine, but I gave that up. And the reason I gave that up is we needed that for a vein procedure room. This office I'm in now is too small. They needed that office. So you need to do whatever it takes to be successful. That brings me to number 4, determination. You have to have the mindset that I'm willing to do whatever it takes, legally, morally, and ethically, to be successful. That's it. I mean, we all have staff issues. We all have stuff. Doctors complain to me, well, you're successful because you're in Appleton, Wisconsin. That is not it at all. I mean, I've had doctors in the same town, same city. One is massively successful. One says, nobody wants my care in this town. That's the 6 inches between your ears. That really is. That's headspace. And you need to work on that. So this weekend, I talked about how successful we were with our YouTube channel in selling nutritional products. And it worked out extremely well. But when YouTube shut that down, that all went away. Well, now I'm going to build that back up. And so I'm starting from ground zero. And what I'll talk about at the super seminar is how I brought this back. And just like I had the 5.5 million thyroid videos or views, I'll get that back. I mean, here, I have this on my desk. I'm going to show you this. It's off the top of my head. What this says is we will either find a way or we will make one. I have this sitting in front of me every day. That's my attitude. You know what? If things go down the toilet, find a way to get out of the toilet, okay? Or go with the flow, and once you hit the sea, start swimming. One of my favorite sayings is, jump in the deep end of the pool, and you're either going to sink or swim, so you better learn how to swim real fast. Yeah. And that's what a lot of doctors won't do. So let's just recap real quick.
Let's do it.
I know I'm gone real fast. Number one, failure to prioritize. Number two, don't get distracted. Stay focused. Number three, victimization. Don't be the victim. Yeah. And number four, determination. You have to do whatever it takes. You know, I have doctors telling me, Doug, it's funny, as I was leaving the homecoming, doctor came up to me, he goes, well, you're good on videos. I'm horrible. He goes, I don't really look good. I don't sound good. I'm like, have you seen my videos? I mean, I had a lady, she emailed me and she goes, you look like a turtle. Why would anybody listen to you? I mean, you get abused all the time. So what? You know what? Just do it. Put it out there.
Well, she's obviously watching. She's obviously watching. So that's what you wanted.
Exactly. Right.
You know, I'm a big fan of acronyms. And so I'm sitting there taking notes from this. And for me to remember what Dr. Johnson talked about today, you can use an acronym. So for me, I'm going to go through it really quick for you and get your approval, Dr. Johnson. So for me, sure. I'm going to use the acronym PEAK, P-E-A-K, PEAK. To get peak performance in your clinic and everything you're doing, doctors, listen to Dr. Johnson's 4 principles. 1, prioritize, that's your P. Eliminate distractions, that's your E.
Yes.
Abolish victim mentality is
wow.
your A, right?
Look, you're good, man.
And then the K is killer determination. So prioritize, eliminate distractions, abolish victim mentality, and killer determination. Is that okay? We use that?
I love that.
So Dr. Johnson's
like that. I love that. This is why you are the master of supplements. And one thing I want to ask you, because a lot of doctors ask me, just for doctors, what does it mean by the vitamin, the supplement is pre-digested? Could you just speak to that real briefly? What I say to people is it's easily absorbed. And I try to just leave it at that. A lot of vitamins made are not easily absorbed. OHS supplements are easily absorbed. What would you say to that, Doug?
Well, I would say we use Dr. Johnson's PEAK principles. You know, basically you hear everyone says that what you take with vitamins, it goes through you and it's in, you know, it's expensive urine, it goes in the toilet. Yeah. The truth is that they were right. The doctors were right. When I went into the MBA, the medical doctor told me that. I'm like, you're right. You're taking these horse pills and they're, you know, tablets that just can't be broken down. And if they are, they're synthetic and it's a joke. It just turns you yellow. And so I agreed with them. But understand what we're trying to do is to get nutrients delivered to the cell level. So we had to prioritize. We had to use Dr. Johnson's thing, prioritize. Okay, what do we need to do about it? Eliminate the distractions of, you know, just get it out there anyways. Who cares? You know, people think it's helping them and placebo. No, you got to eliminate that. You really focus on what we're needing. And then, you know, well, this is the way it's done. The machines run at this high speed and all these things that, you know, really make it hard for us to use whole foods. And we just had to, you know, abolish that victim mentality of, oh, this is the way it is. And, you know, it's not our fault.
Right.
Through that, we can do it right. And then just have that killer determination. So what we did is we said, look, here are these whole foods. We've got to get them in. But a lot of times they're not the right potency, and you have a sick patient. It can't be delivered, through a system that might be delivered in the person that's not sick because of the acidity and bicarbonate system and that. So what we did is we said nature takes the food and pre-digests it. We might call it rotting or ripening. And what is it doing? Can we do the same thing? And we just use the borrowing from nature, the principles, without changing the principles, using the natural enzymes, the natural probiotics and organic minerals, and taking that herb, that vitamin, that food, and pre-digesting it. So picture having a protein like whey protein, and then go and put the enzymes with it, digesting it down, liquefy it, have it pre-digested all the way down to amino acid, and re-drying it, and then putting it in a capsule. Well, we do that with everything. Do it with the vitamins, the minerals, the herbs, so everything's pre-digested. So it's just using that same peak concept to look at this problem and then identify what's needed. It's just most people don't do that. In the industry, it's just a game to a lot of people now. It used to be, as you know, Dr. Johnson, we'd go to our seminars for the chemistry and the organic chemistry and all these things. And we were all friends, all of the different companies, because we're all doing the same thing. We all have, the same goal in mind. And now you go there and people are stop smoking and drinking and no one's corresponding, it's dog eat dog. And there's a lot of companies in this now just to make money and not in it to deliver nutrients to the cell level. So that's pre-digestion. And I think it really comes to what Dr. Johnson, you're saying, caring about the patient and getting that mentality.
Beautiful. Yeah, that's brilliant. The whole peak thing. It's like,
well, we'll use that, and we'll create a peak talk. We're going to be doing the super seminar. Dr. Johnson just mentioned. In fact, we haven't told anyone in the world yet. We just had a big meeting with Dr. Brimhall and Harris last night. It looks like it's going to be in August. We're going to send things out next week, and then there'll be a few seminars before that, like you said, methylation seminars, 6-step seminars, a big giant crazy one Dr. Harris is going to do. So
the big giant crazy one, everybody's got to get to that. and that's how we'll leave it, right?
Yeah, we'll leave it right there.
That's one of the reasons. One thing I'll say about YouTube is they give you 3 strikes. And one of my strikes was I used the C word, and they don't like you using the C word, as you know. And,
absolutely. We won't go there with it.
No, it's crazy for now.
It is important though, when people have serious conditions. So let's just even say the C word's a serious condition. What do? You need to nutritionally support, you need help, you need to be there for them. And what do you do when people have serious conditions in their body? And that's what Dr. Harris is going to do as a seminar, saying, look, if the patients come with these crazy diagnosis, what can you do to support them so that helps with whoever their primary care physician is, if it's not you, to get their mind right, get their nutrition right. And so we're going to do a deep dive into that. That'll be a fun one. So well,
Doug, and this, people with severe chronic conditions, they'll go to their physician, their primary care physician. The physician will tell them, eat anything you want. Can I eat a lot of sugar? Yeah, eat a lot of sugar. Sugar is good for your energy. Just crazy stuff like that. I mean, I had a guy come in to see me. He had a very serious autoimmune condition. He's drinking a 12-pack of Diet Mountain Dew a day, every day. And he asked his physician, you think this is hurting me? He goes, heck no, it's Diet Mountain Dew. It's probably good for you. That's what he said.
Yeah, the aspartame and sucralose. That's crazy. And you get that because doctors aren't taught nutrition. And so doctors, if you want to know the truth, we have the seminars for you. Check it out at optimalhealthsystems.com. Before we leave, how do people get hold of you, Dr. Johnson?
Great. Thank you, Doug. Dr. J, drj at ohstemcell.info, drj at ohstemcell.info, or you just want to shoot me a text. That's the best way. 920-740-3519, 920-740-3519.
Awesome. Both those things are on the screen for you to be able to check out. If you need to rewind a little bit to make sure you get the email and the text number, make sure you do that. Contact Dr. Johnson, one of the best in the nation. We appreciate being here. We look forward to having you on stage with us at the Super Seminar. Remember, doctors, if you really want to be at your peak when it comes to your clinic, follow the 4 principles laid out for you, and you'll have great success. Have a great day.
Thanks, Doug.